Om 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 Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvi Shavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Om Vasudevasutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Vande Guru Paramparam. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidwaram. Sadgurum Brahma Vidwaram. Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Hari Om. So we are into the 15th day of Srimad Bhagavad Gita with the vision of Bhagavan Sri Adisankaracharya. And the verse number is, since where we left off yesterday, after we discussed the importance of participating in collective activity, collective yajna, without expectation of results for one's own self, or without identifying myself as a doer of the action, meaning just going with the flow and participating with everybody, working along and not taking independent initial credit about the work. What happens to such people when they do such action? They get purified of all their sins. Sins are the disturbing thoughts in the mind, the blocks in the mind which disturb the progress of life, the progress of our understanding is a sin. So if we want to have such a life which is free from all sins, then it is important to participate in the collective activity by giving our own self completely. Samachara, without attachment to the samachara, is to do well, to participate well in the work. Most of the time when we see, when it comes to collective work, there'll always be a few people who are working very hard because naturally they are committed to working hard, and there'll be many people who will just escape from all duties. They'll subcontract their work to others, and they will happily sit down and just loiter around the place, look at everybody else doing. It is a common sight to see in any group activities, in any group seva. You have different kinds of people. They'll just be moving around the place. They will not do anything. Even if they have to do something, they will just escape from that. They'll give it to somebody else, and they will retire to some place quietly alone. So that is what is called bhunjate te tu agham papaha. Such are the people who eat nothing but sin by keeping their energy to themselves and not contributing to the world, to the society. What is the cycle of creation? Bhagavan Shri Krishna is now talking to Arjuna. He is giving details, or he is giving a perspective about how creation happens, creation of this universe, creation of beings, and what is the role of karma in that, what is the role of action in that. Verse 14, 15 and 16 go together because they form the complete wheel of creation. Annad bhavanti bhutani parjanyadanna sambhavaha यज्ञात् भवति पर्जन्यः यज्ञः कर्म समुद्भवः कर्म ब्रह्मोद्भवं विद्धि ब्रह्माक्षरसमुद्भवम् तस्मात् सर्वगतं ब्रह्म नित्यं यज्ञे प्रतिष्ठितम् एवं प्रवर्तितं चक्रं नानुवर्तयतीह यः अघायुरिन्द्रिया रामः मोघं पार्थ स जीवति भूतानि अन्नात् भवन्ति. Bhutani are all the physical beings, the human bodies, the animals. How are they born? They are born out of food, which means the food that the father eats, the food that the father eats becomes a seed through which the baby is born, and the food that the mother eats becomes the nourishment, the energy that nourishes the baby in the womb. And then once the baby is born, the baby is sustained by that food, and the baby grows up because of that food. Annat bhavanti bhutani. Suffice it to say that for every living being, for us to live and sustain in this world, and also producing of offspring, everything is possible only because of food. If there is no food, there is no life on earth. Annat bhavanti bhutani. And then what happens? Parjanyat anna sambhavaha. How is that food produced? How do farmers produce food? What do they depend upon? They depend on rain. Parjanyat anna sambhavaha. Food is born out of rain. How is rain formed? Yajnat bhavati parjanyaha. By yajna, by collective activity. We can say the farmer. What the farmer does is a yajna. What the king does in protecting the kingdom, in making the whole place conducive for rains. So every king, it is a job of every king to do a lot of yajnas in the country, in their kingdom, and because of which rains will come. So yajnat bhavati parjanyaha, parjanyat annat bhavati bhutani, parjanyat anna sambhavaha. So the cycle of creation begins. All beings are create. Food creates beings. So food is created by rain. Rain is created by yajna. Yajna is collective activity. It is also the homas and the havans that people do, propitiating the sun god and propitiating the gods like Indra. Rain is created. Yajnat bhavati parjanyaha. And how is yajna created? Yajna is born out of action. Yajna is born out of the physical body with which action is performed. Yajnaha karma samudbhavaha. Karma is action. Yajna is the karma. Yajna is born out of action. And where is karma born out of? Karma Brahma udbhavam viddhi. Karma is born out of Brahma, the Vedas. The Vedas prescribe the rules for sacrifice. The Kalpa Sutras of the Vedas talk about the length and breadth of the Homakunda, the Dravya that has to be put inside. It is a very beautiful technology of the ancient times for producing rain. So if we want proper rain in our country, and within the proper measure, it is neither ativrishti nor anavrishti. Ativrishti means excess rain, anavrishti means no rain. So it is not either of the two, but it is in a balance. Yajnat, how is that done? The Vedas, Brahma, Karma, Brahmodbhavam Viddhi. Brahma is a creator, Vedas. And Brahma Nityam Yajne Pratishtitam. Tasmat, sorry, Karma Brahmodbhavam Viddhi, Brahma Akshara Samudbhavam. So where is the Vedas produced from? Vedas are produced from Aksharas or letters. The letter Omkara is the source of all the Vedas, the Gayatri. And then the Omkara mantra is the source of all the Vedas. Brahma Akshara Samudbhavam Tasmat Sarvagatam Brahma, the knowledge of the yajna which is present everywhere. Where is it established? Nityam Yajne Pratishtitam. So it is established in daily action, daily ritual, daily karma. So this is the chakram. Evam pravartitam chakram. In this way, there is a cycle. The cycle starts from the beings are born from food. Food is generated by rain. Rain is brought forth by yajna. Yajna is brought forth by karma. Karma is brought forth by Brahma, the Vedas. The Brahma is brought forth by the Akshara, Omkara. Everywhere, this Brahma alone, the Vedas alone are established as Yajna. In the Yajna, the Vedas are there, Pratishtitam. In this chakram, Evam Pravartitam chakram, this is the chakra, this is a wheel of good community living, communal living, where we live in a society, everybody joined together. This is the main work. It is not the IT industry, it is not the finance industry, or it's not anything else. This is the basic cycle of food chain, how to produce food, how to sustain ourselves, and how to live a happy life. Tasmat sarvagatam brahma nityam yajne pratishtitam evam pravartitam chakram. This wheel is spinning every day. Na anuvartayati iha yaha. If a person who does not think about this wheel of action, which is spinning every day and producing all the good that we need for us to live in our life. What are the basic goods that we need? We need good rain for good food, and we need good clothing. Everything is brought out of food only. Aghayuhu indriya aramaha. If a person is just wasting away his time and not participating in all these actions, how is his life? Agha ayuhu. His life is a life of sin. Such a person is a weight upon this earth. It is the very existence of such a person who does not participate in collective action is sinful. Aghayuhu. And what is that person doing otherwise? He is an indriya aramaha. He is reveling in the pleasures of the senses. What the eyes can see that he likes, what the ears can hear, what the tongue can taste, what the skin can feel, and what the nose can smell. Just these are the 5 things that he draws his pleasure from. Indriya aramaha. How is his life? Mogham partha sajivati. That person's very life is a waste of energy, waste of space, waste of time. These are very strong words used by Bhagavan Sri Krishna, which indicates the importance of our participation in collective action. If we just don't do anything together along with what is required for the welfare and the well-being of society, then we are living a life of wasted energy, and our life itself is a waste in the eyes of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Annat bhuktat lohita retaha parinatat pratyaksham bhavanti. Here the vital fluid which produces the human being is being the cause for all humanity, and that is the wheel of creation. Here, yasmat sakshat paramatma akhyat aksharat purusha nishwasavat samudbhutam brahma tasmat sarvartha prakashakatvat sarvagatam. Since that Veda is like the expulsion of breath of that Brahma, it is present everywhere. It is like air. Sarvagatam api sat nityam sada yajna vidha pradhanatvat yajne pratishthitam. So the Vedas is a cause for the vidhis, the rules for the yajnas, and so it's supposed to be established in the yajnas. Evam Ishwarena Veda Yajna Purvakam Jagat Chakram Pravartitam Na Anuvartayati Iha Loke. This whole wheel of karma, of yajna, has been established by Ishvara. that is the samashti prana, which is taking care of the functioning of this whole world. If one person does not fall in line with it, does not go along with its toe, जीवनं यस्य अघायुः पापजीवन इति यावत् इन्द्रिय आरामः इन्द्रियैः आरामः आरमणम् आक्रीडा विषयेषु यस्य स इन्द्रियारामः मोघं वृथा waste. A person who is reveling in the objects of the senses, the pleasures of the senses, is living a life of vain. Tasmat ajnena adhikritena kartavyameva karma iti prakaranarthaha. Here, the practice or the observance of all this karma is for the person who has not realized the truth. Until the realization of truth happens, we have to participate in this activity of the creation of this whole world, the preservation of this whole world in the manner of yajna. We are not thinking of our contribution in the physical yajna of the fire ritual. The yajna that is here mentioned is service in society, whether it is sweeping, mopping, whether it is responsibly conducting ourselves in society. Now we have a lot of understanding about the impact of our actions and the global environmental situation. So whether it is segregation of waste at source, or whether it is organizing the traffic, helping the police, the transport department to organize traffic, doing our bit to keep our surroundings clean around our house, and segregating plastics, biodegradable waste, burning combustible waste, so composting biodegradable waste, and safely disposing hazardous waste. All these different aspects of our societal functioning, we are able to participate in by our own selves in every manner possible. There are many ways by which we can contribute. So whether it is using public, living a very conscious life is being part of this yajna. Prag atmajnan nishta yoga yogyata praptehe tadarthyena karma yoga anushtanam adhikritena anatmajnena kartavyam eva iti etat. So it is, while earlier saying that to get this atmajnana nishtha, to get to be established in the thought that I am that self, the thought, it was we had to do karma yoga, but here it is being mentioned that anatmajna, the one who does not know who I am in truth, in reality, such a person has to do karma. Na karmana manarambhati ityata arabhya sharira yatra pichate na prasiddhyet akarmanaha iti evam antena pratipadya. So the earlier verses said, without starting any karma, we will not be in a position to attain moksha. That is the first thing. And then even for the movement of the physical body in this life stream is possible only with karma. Yajnarthat karmanon yatra ityadina mogham partha sajivati iti evam antena api granthena prasangikam adhikritasya anatmavidaha karma anusthane bahukaranam uktam tad akaranech dosha sankirtanam kritam. So many in the previous verses, for the one who does not know the truth of the self, there are many reasons that are given for him to do action in this world. And if he does not do action, what are all the possibilities, what are all the problems that he may get is being discussed. Evam sthite kim evam pravartitam chakram sarvena anuvartaniyam ahosvit purvokta karma yoga anusthana upaya prapyam anatma vida jnana yogena eva nishtham atmavadbhihi sankhyahi anushteyam apraptena eva iti evam artham Arjunasya prashnam ashankya. Arjuna is asking, say, like considering the question that might rise in Arjuna's mind of why only the people who are observing the path of yoga should do action and not the Sankhyas. स्वयमेव वा शास्त्रार्थस्य विवेकप्रतिपत्त्यर्थम् एवम् एतं वै तम् आत्मानं विदित्वा निवृत्तिं मिथ्याज्ञानाः सन्तोः ब्राह्मणाः मिथ्याज्ञानवद्भिः वश्यं कर्तव्येभ्यः पुत्रैशनादिभ्यः व्युत्थायाथ भिक्षाचर्यं शरीरस्थितिमात्रयुक्तं चरन्ति न तेषाम् ज्ञाननिश्च व्यतिरेकेणान्यात् कार्यमस्ति. So Brihadaranyaka Upanishad is being quoted here. There is no other work to be done for the Atma Jnana Nishtha. I'm very sorry, something is troubling me. Atma Jnana Nishtha. For the person who has attained that state of Atma Jnana or self-knowledge, there is nothing indeed to be done. इह गीताशास्त्रे प्रतिपिपादयिषितं यशितं आविष्कुर्वन् आह भगवान. So Bhagavan Sri Krishna is talking about, he is making a correction in this point about what is the condition of an Atmanishta Purusha, the one who has realized the true self. Yastvatmaratirev syat आत्मतृप्तश्च मानवः आत्मन्येव च सन्तुष्टः तस्य कार्यं न विद्यते. For the one who is an Atmavit. Atmavit means I know truly who I am. I am not this body, I am not this mind, I am not this intellect, I am not the circumstances that I see, I am not the objects of the senses that I perceive, I am not the actions that I do. I am not the thoughts that I think. I am not the emotions that I feel. I am not the love or hatred that I have, that I entertain. I am not all this. I am that consciousness. If a person has come to this realization, yahatu, that person indeed, atmaratihi eva syat. He has realized the true self and he is living a life of contemplation on the true self. Atmatriptascha manavaha. He is living a life of contemplation and also he is content in that state of being. Manavaha, the people, Atmani evacha santushtaha. If they are completely content with their own self and they don't want anything more than their self alone, tasya karyam na vidyate. For that person, there is indeed nothing to be done in this world. Tasya karyam na vidyate. यह तु सांख्य आत्मज्ञान निष्ठः आत्मरतिः आत्मन्येव रतिः न विषयेषु यस्य स आत्मरतिः एव स्यात् भवेत् आत्मतृप्तः च आत्मना एव तृप्तः न अन्नरसादिना मानवः. So the atmatripta meaning is here, I am content by my own self, not because I have food, I have something to drink, I have something to enjoy, not because of anything else, but my own presence, my own being, with that I am happy, is an atmatripta. Sannyasi atmani eva cha santushtaha. Santoshaha hi bahyarthalabhe sarvasya bhavati tam anapekshya atmani eva cha santushtaha. So indeed, when they attain something from the world, they experience happiness. Here the atmatripta is not the one who is not experiencing happiness because he is getting something, but in spite of not getting anything also he is happy. Getting or not getting, it doesn't matter for his own happiness. That is an atmanishtha. Sarvatam sarvataha vita trishna iti etat. Ya idrisha atmavit tasya karyam karaniyam na vidyate na asti ityartha. Such a person, that is, if I don't want anything for my existence, neither food nor water nor clothing do I depend upon the five elements on this earth and the people on this earth, in that condition I am the knower of the self alone. I can say that I need not do any work. But there are some people who have reached the state and who continue to do work. Now Bhagavan Sri Krishna is glorifying work. Even though they have realized the state of the self, they have realized the truth of the self, and they have got the vision of Samyak Darshana, means very clear vision of what is the truth, what is reality at all times. He continues in the 18th verse, Naiva tasya kritenarthaha na kriteneha kaschana na chasya sarvabhuteshu kaschirarthavyapashrayah na eva tasya kritena arthaha. Such a person who knows the self and who is living in a life of abidance in that self, na kritena arthaha, there is nothing that he needs to do, he needs to accomplish. Na akriteneha kaschana, no, nothing will be lost if he does not do something. If he does something, nothing, there is going to be no great gain. If he does not do something, there is going to be no great loss to society. Nacha asya sarva bhuteshu kaschid arthavyapashrayah. He does not need to do anything for the welfare of all beings. His very presence is a blessing upon this earth. There are some people who are like this. Nayeva tasya paramatmaratehe kritena karmana arthaha prayojanam asti. There is indeed no use for a person who has attained that knowledge of the Supreme Self in doing actions. Astu sarhi akritena akaranena pratyavayakyaha anarthaha. Okay, in that case, when he is not doing something, is there going to be some fault or some problem? Sometimes when we do something also there is problem. When we don't do something which has to be done also there is problem. So when he is not doing something, is there going to be some problem? Na akritena iha loke kaschana kaschitapi pratyavaya prapti rupa atmahani lakshanaha va na eva asti na cha asya sarva bhuteshu brahmadi stavaranteshu bhuteshu kaschid arthavyapashrayah. There is no meaning, there is no necessity for that person to do, because neither is he going to harm somebody or is it going to be of help to somebody if this person is going to do any work. Prayojana nimitta kriya sadhyaha vyapashrayaha vyapashrayanam kaschit bhuta vishesham ashritya na sadhyaha kaschit arthaha iti yena tadarthaha kriya anushtheya syat. So there is no indeed any purpose for him to do any action for anybody else. Natvam etasmin sarvataha samplutodaka sthaniye samyak darshane vartase. If such a person who is existing in this world, who has realized the truth of the self, and if he continues to exist, what happens? How should they do their work? Yat evam. Why is it so? Tasmad asaktas satatam karyam karma samachara asakto hyacharan karma paramapnoti purushaha. So if you want to attain that state of liberation with the knowledge of the self, then continue to do action, Arjuna. How should you do action? Tasmat, therefore, for all these reasons mentioned around, asaktaha satatam karyam karma samachara. Asaktaha, you do action, but don't do action with attachment to the action and with the attachment to the idea that I am the doer of the action. Do it asaktaha, do it free of that attachment. Don't attach any importance to that individual who is doing the action. Don't attach any importance to what is the result that is coming out of those actions. Just do the action for the love of doing the action. Be in the flow of the action. Karyam karma samachara, samyak achara. Just because you are not having any kind of an attachment towards the result of the action, or just because you are not identifying yourself as a doer, and you think that nobody is going to identify anyway that I have done the action, so it doesn't matter how I do the action, I will do it any which way. No. Sam achara, samyak achara. The previous verse also sometime before Mukta Sanga Samachara. Bhagavan Sri Krishna repeats his word many times, meaning he himself was a very uh, great actor, in the sense he was doing many actions for Arjuna during the war, the battle, including cleaning the horses, taking care of the horses, giving medicine for the horses, which were all injured in the battlefield, in his chariot, which he was driving for Arjuna, driving the chariot, dodging the arrows, protecting Arjuna also. So many things he did only in the war alone and in other times in his life. And how did he do action? Sama achara, samyak achara. Very well, perfect manner in which the action is done. Samachara. Asaktaha hi acharan karma. If a person who is asaktaha, who is not attached to the identification that I am the doer of the action and these are the particular results that I need out of the action, what happens to them? Param apnoti. They attain that state of supreme goodness, supreme peace, supreme beatitude, supreme knowledge of the truth is attained. Tasmat asaktaha sangavarjitaha satatam sarvada karyam kartavyam nityam karma samachara nirvartaya. The same meaning. Do action without attachment to the idea that I am the doer of the action and these are the results expected out of the action. And do the action well. Asaktaha hi yasmat samacharan ishwarartham karma kurvan paramam moksham apnoti purushaha sattva shuddhi dwarena ityartaha. How does he attain that supreme state of realization? The mind is purified through this action. It is not that I do the action and then I realize the truth. No. Because I do the action in this manner without attachment to results and without identification of the doer as the doer of the action, asaktaha, and I do the action well also, I pay my attention and do the action well, that makes my mind purified. A purified mind is where there are no impulses of the senses, there are no impulses of desires that arise in the mind, there are no waves of desires arising in the mind. Is a purified mind. In that purified mind, it becomes easy to realize one's own true nature. Yasmacha, why is it so? How is this possible? He is giving an example here. Karmanaiva hi samsiddhim आस्थिता जनकादयः लोकसंग्रहमेवापि सम्पश्यन् कर्तुमर्हसि. कर्मणा एव हि samsiddhim आस्थिता janaka adayah. People like kings, Bhagavan Adisankaracharya adds Janaka and King Ashwapati also. People like Janaka and Ashwapati, how did they attain the great goals of life? Karmana eva hi samsiddhim. They attain that final beatitude of mind by doing action. And asthita janakadayaha. They continue to do that in their lives. They did not drop action. For what reason did they do? Loka sangrahameva api sampashyan kartumarhasi. The actions have to continue for the sake of loka sangrahanam. Loka sangrahanam is not actually the commonly understood meaning of welfare of the world. Loka sangrahanam meaning is to gather people together. Gather well-meaning people together. It is very important, because in a democracy, in a big country like this, it is very important that the common opinion is in tune with what the government wants to do in terms of welfare. Only when the government and the larger common opinion is together are all welfare activities possible. So, and who is able to do this work? Only very efficient kings, efficient leaders can do this work. Suppose these efficient leaders become self-realized, and as per many verses in the Vedas, once you are self-realized, you don't need to do any action. They take it seriously and they retire, then we will not really have intelligent people, efficient people, proficient people working in this world. So, and working in this world, giving the right ideas for people together, gathering people together and bringing them all together into one fold. Lokasangrahamevapi sampashyan, considering very well that the people of the world have to be gathered together under one cause, under one roof. It is very important. Kartum arhasi. Everybody should do action for the cause of public good, for the cause of the common welfare of people. Atha manyase purvaihi api janakadibihi api अजानद्भिः एव कर्तव्यं कर्म कृतं तावता न अवश्यम् अन्येन कर्तव्यं सम्यक् दर्शनवता कृतार्थेन इति. So if people does it mean that if people do not know the truth alone, only then they should do action, that those who know the truth should drop all actions? No. Tathapi prarabdha karma yattaha tvam lokasangraham eva api lokasya unmarga pravrutti nivaranam. Lokasangraha. Bhagavan Sri Adisankaracharya says, lokasya unmarga pravrutti nivaranam. Bringing the people of the world away from the path of destruction is lokasangraha. Tameva api prayojanam sampashyan kartum arhasi. One is bound to do action. Arhasi means it is befitting of a person to do action, considering that large groups of people should not go the wrong path in society. Loka sangraham kaha kartum arhati katham chaiti uchyate. So we will see from this verse, maybe we'll look into or from tomorrow, yes, or maybe today. Who is the befitting person to do loka sangraha or actions for the good of society, actions to guide society into the right path? Yadyadachar, why should we do that? Why should it be done? Yadyadacharati shreshtaha tattadevetaro janaha sayat pramanam kurute lokastadanu vartate. Yadyad acharati shreshtaha. Shrestha, the best among people in the society, whatever they do, which is a very common understanding today. Most of the imitations of dress, behavior, lifestyle, everything comes from film actors whom people consider great, or rich men in society, rich people in society. How they behave is being imitated by large groups of people. All the fashions that are all formed in the world are all from film stars and their dresses that they wear. You have so many saris and other things in their name. After every movie is released, that particular dress style becomes a fashion. So in the same way, yadyad acharati shreshtaha tattadeva itaro janaha. Everybody else follows whatever that shreshta, the great person in society, observes, everybody else follows. Sayat pramanam kurute. Whatever that person leaves as an example, lokaha tadanu vartate. The whole world follows them. Yadyat karma acharati yeshu yeshu shreshtaha pradhanaha tattateva karma acharati itarataha anyaha janaha tad anugataha. So the same meaning is whatever actions the great people do, that alone is being followed by everybody else. Kimcha sa shreshta yat pramanam kurute laukikam vaidikam va lokaha tad anuvartate tad eva pramani karoti ityartha. So whatever ideal that these great people set in life, whether it can be in the worldly sense or in the spiritual sense of the Vedas, the Vedic karmas, that alone is being followed by other people in this world. Yadi atra te lokasangraha kartavyatayam विप्रतिपत्तिः तर्हि मां किं न पश्यसि. So when the next verse, Bhagavan is talking about himself. He's telling, don't you see me, Arjuna? Don't. It is not about these kings alone. It is not about these kings like Janaka and others. They are an example. You see me, you see myself. I don't have to do anything in this world, but am I not engaging in action? Name parthasti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana nanavaptamavaptavyam vartayeva cha karmani न मे न मम पार्थः अस्ति न विद्यते कर्तव्यं त्रिषु अपि लोकेषु किंचन किंचिदपि even a little bit. I don't have to do any work in this world, in all the three worlds. That means in the waking world, in the dream world, and the deep sleep world, because Krishna is talking from the point of realization of the truth of who he is. He says, I don't have to do any work. The one who wakes up from the dream does not have to worry about the dreamer and the activities that are done in the dream. That is what it means here. Self-realization is the one who is an awakened master, the one who has woken up from this dream of existence, need not have to do anything with what is. Suppose a person is woken up in the morning and in the dream he saw himself doing so many actions, unfinished actions. He doesn't need to go back to sleep and finish those actions. In the same way, Bhagavan Shri Krishna says, a person like me who has woken up to the reality, I don't need to do anything. Name parthasi kartavyam, I don't need to do any work. Trishu lokeshu, whether in this world of waking state, or in the world of the dream state, or in the world of the deep sleep state, I don't have to do anything. But yet, na anavaptam avaptavyam, I don't have to do means there is nothing that I need to achieve, there is nothing that I need to get which I don't have, that I have to do work and get it. Avaptavyam, but yet vartayevacha karmani, I am continuing to do action. Vartayevacha karmani, I am doing action. Why am I doing so? Yadi hyaham navarteyam jatu karmanyatandritaha mama vartmanu vartante manushya partha sarvasaha manushya partha sarvashaha. If I do not do action, yadi hyaham, he, aham, navarteyam, if I am not engaging in any action, Arjuna, jatu, indeed, at any point of time, karmani atandritaha, without procrastinating, without being lazy, without being tandra means to, it's a state of sleep, a sleepy condition. Tandra is not actually sleep. Tandra is like that sleep. Once you wake up from sleep, the child, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, that state of sleep is still there. It is not yet gone. That is called tandra. Atandritaha means without that kind of a sleepy state. If I don't do action, if I don't do any action, then what will happen? Everybody will start following me. We all know we like to follow others. We like to follow what others do, especially parents, adults, or leaders, class monitors, school prefects, school leaders, and people who are all in politics also. Everywhere we like to follow leaders. So Krishna says, if I don't do work, then everybody will chill, everybody will relax. So vartaye, 1 minute, manushyaha partha sarvashaha mama vartma anuvartante, everybody will follow my lifestyle of not doing any work. So indeed I have to do work, because others are looking at me, others are following me. Just like even in parenting it is said, the children do not listen to what the parents say, but the children see and do what the parents do. What will happen if I don't do any work? Tatha cha ko dosha iti aha. Okay, if I don't do any work, what will happen? Utsi de yurime loka na kuryam karma chedaham sankarasya cha kartasyam upahanyami maf prajaham. So he says, Utsideyuhu ime lokaha. These beings in this world will get destroyed. How will they get destroyed if I don't do the right action? Utsideyuhu sankarasya cha kartasyam. I will become the author of creating confusion in society where anybody marries anybody without any discrimination of what are the qualities, what are the actions that they do, whether this person getting married to this person is going to help society in some way or the other or not. Without these considerations, when just people start liking each other for the sake of, some qualities that they like and they go behind something, there will be Sankara. Varna Sankara means a mixture of all the kind of communities and it is what is it? A mixture of people. It is like without any clarity and focus, getting married to somebody just because somebody is looking beautiful or somebody is looking handsome, or just like voting for someone just because their looks are very good or they have a lot of money. It doesn't matter. It is not going to help the society in any way. So I'll cause such confusion in society. Syam upahanyam imaf prajaha. If I cause confusion in society, then I will be held responsible for even killing all these people. Because when there is confusion in the mind, when there is no clarity in the mind, when people don't have a proper idea about what they should do and what they should not do, there'll be a lot of disturbances caused in society. And when those disturbances are very intense, then it will cause intense killing and wrong actions also. That is how we have wars. We have wars because we don't have clarity about what we should do and what we should not do, what we should refrain from, and what should be done. When the clarity is not there, it ends in political instability. यदि पुनः अहम इव त्वं कृतार्थबुद्धिः आत्मविद् अन्यः वा तस्य अपि आत्मनः कर्तव्य अभावे अपि परानुग्रह एव कर्तव्य इति. Even though I do not have to do anything just because I have realized who I am, I know who I am, but para anugraha eva kartavyam. For the welfare of others, for the well-being of others, for blessing others with a good life, I have to continue to do action. Karta sakta karmanya vidvamsaha yatha kurvanti bharata kuryad vidvams tatha saktaha chikirshurloka sangraham. So the one who wishes for, if I don't have any wish, here Bhagavan Sri Krishna does have a wish in his heart. What is that wish? Everywhere in every avatar, he has given that promise. As Bhagavan Sriman Narayana and Sri Rama, Sakradeva Prapannaya Tavasmi Iticha Yachate Abhayam Sarvabhutebhyaha Dadam Yetat Vratam Mama. I have taken this vow that Sakradeva Prapannaya, for the one who has surrendered to me and says, "You are mine, O Rama." If the person just calls out once, Tava Asmi Iticha Yachate Abhayam Sarvabhutebhyaha. I will provide fearlessness. I will guard and protect. Dadami Yetat Vratam Mama. So in the next verse, Bhagavan Sri Krishna will say, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanihi bhavati bharata abhyutthanam adharmasya tadatmanam sajamyaham. So Krishna says, this vow is there. This desire for loka sangraham is there. Chikirshuhu loka sangraham. If an individual wishes for to work for the welfare of the world, then saktaha karmani avidvamsaha yatha kurvanti bharata. How people who are not knowing the truth, they do actions in the world by being attached to that action, being attached to the results of the action as I want these results, and being attached to their own selves as a doer of the action. That strong attachment is there. in the same way, but they're doing action very well with that strong attachment. O Arjuna, Kurya Vidwan, the Vidwan is the one who knows the truth, Tatha Asaktaha, without that attachment, just do action casually, without like, it is like walking through breezing through all the actions, not getting agitated about it, not getting caught in it, not getting drawn by it, not getting immersed in it, in terms of not getting bound by the action, but just flowing through the action. If there is a wish for the welfare of human beings, Loka Sangraham, to gather human beings together and to do good work in society for the upliftment and progress of society, if there is a desire for that, then the Vidwan, the one who is enlightened about his own true self, can continue to do actions in this manner in society. So it is not compulsory for that person, but yet they choose to do, like how I choose to do, Arjuna, says Bhagwan Shri Krishna. We will continue tomorrow. Om 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 Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya, Tamasorma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Bole Shri Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai. Har Namah Parvati Pataye. Hara Hara Mahadeva. Hari Om.